Okay, in the second part of this week 10 video, we will discuss an example of the use of a method of lines applied to steam heat exchanger. A steam heated plug flow heat exchanger has the following energy balance. So imagine that we have this particular energy balance. Now we will question how we do that thing. If we look at the figure below, we notice that let's say that at this particular point in here, it will be at z equals 0. And then at this particular point in here, that will be at z equal L, basically. And then we have a boundaries in here, where in here we have the fluid flow of interest, and then in here we have a steam that can flow either on the different directions, or if in the opposite direction, then it will be a counter current, or it can be in the same directions. If it is in the same direction, it will be co-current. In this particular case, it will not have a difference because the temperature of the steam at this particular point will be 120, let's say 120 degrees Celsius. And then at this particular point, and where the temperature of the steam will be, let's say at 120 degrees Celsius, okay, it's considered similar, for example. So we assume that the heat transfer or the heating does not really change does not really change much the latent heat from the steam, so that the temperature change. So the configurations, whether it is a co-current or a counter current, does not really affect the mathematical formulation in here. Okay, and then the steam in here, you may ask why it has a higher temperature than the normal steam, because in this particular case the pressures will be higher than the atmospheric pressure, say, for example. Okay, if we consider this, or we visualize the case as what I mentioned just now, then we should get this particular PDE in here. Okay, and then we can use the boundary conditions of T is equal T naught for all T higher than 0 as the boundary conditions at the inlet, which is the Dirichlet boundary conditions. Okay, and then a T will be a T at the particular Z, or T is basically defined as whatever the T is at that particular Z at time equals 0 as the initial condition. Okay, the first step will be the selection of the grid. Okay, so we take a grid from the inlet of this tube, for example. Okay, up to the outlet of the tube in here, L. Okay, the mesh size becomes H equal to L minus 0 divided by internal grid point plus 1. Okay, the next one is the selection of the discretization method. The convection term, or this del T over del Z, can be changed into the finite difference term Ti minus 1 divided by H. So if we apply that into the PDE, before in here, we change this term in here into this term in here, we will get this particular ordinary differential equations. Okay, the boundary condition is a non-value at the inlet, so meaning that the step 4 is a direct applications of the ODE above. Okay, you note that the T in here is also changed into Ti. Okay, so that's really important that you inspect that particular mathematical expression. Okay, let's say that we simulate the heat exchanger with the following values of the parameters. The velocity is 10, the heat transfer 2500, density is 1000, heat capacity 4.18, tube diameter 0.1, tube length 0.5, steam temperature 120, and the inlet temperature 25. We can use this MATLAB code. Okay, this MATLAB code in here, or what we call as SHEX, will have an input of time and temperature, and it will give a output of a vector consisting of the value of the ordinary differential equation, in particular the right hand side of the equations. Okay, these these 3 lines in here expresses the values of the parameters, and then this one is the internal grid points, this one is the step size. Okay, this A1 in here is basically a matrix to help forming the necessary matrix for the ODE, as we will shown in the additional materials. And then this B is also a matrix of 1, zeros, and 1 T naught. We will show this as well in the additional materials. And this will be a set of the ODE. Okay. Now I will move into the additional materials to show how the derivations can be done. Okay, in here you may want to check your canvas for the additional materials that I give. So for example, for this particular case of n equal 10, where we have 10 internal points, then I will be equal to this. At I equal 1, it will be equal, you will have 1 ordinary differential equations. Okay, for I equal 2, you will have another ODE, I equal 3, and so on, basically. Okay, let's say I move it in here, so you have like I equal 11, then you will have another ODE again in here. Okay, so in essence you will have an 11 ordinary differential equations. Okay, I want to discuss the simple problem. Okay, let's say we have an n equal 3. Okay, if we have n equal 3, then we will have 4 ordinary differential equations. Okay, it's row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Okay, this will be the first one that you need to frame after you change your PDE into the ODE, into a set of ODE. Then this will be the one that you have, and then this can be break down more into this one. Okay, and then you start with this I equal 1, you will have this particular expression. Okay, this one will be I equal 2, this one will be I equal 3, this one will be I equal 4. Okay, so once you do that thing, then you know that all these systems of these 4 ODEs can be represented into this matrix shown in here. Okay, so you will have 3 terms. The first term in here, the second term in here, and then the third term in here. Okay, in creating this matrix in here, it's called A1. You can use a particular formula in MATLAB, which is this one. Okay, this particular formula in MATLAB in here is this one. I4 minus zeros 1 4, I3 zeros 3 1. So it's expressed as in terms of this one. So this one basically coming from I4. This one is basically let me go back again. Zeros 1 4 will be this one. Okay, and then you put in a comma in there to basically change the row. The I3 will be equal to this one. Okay, and then without any commas, that means this one will be put just next to that one, 031. Okay, so if this I4 minus this term, that what we will have is basically this particular matrix in here. Okay, and then this particular matrix in here is basically equal to 1 0 0 0 multiplied by the T0. Okay, or if we go back again into the slides, we check again in here. So that will be equal to this one in here. So this basically this one, and then you have a comma in here, meaning it moved the row. Okay, then zeros and one. So if say you have an n3, then that will be 1, 2, 3, and then multiplied by the T0. 1 multiplied by T0 will be T0. 0 multiplied by T0 will be 0, 0, 0. Okay, so this basically creates the differential, the matrix of the ODE that is required to solve the particular problem. Okay, then we will use ODE 15S with this factor of the ODEs, and then we want to solve from 0 to 0.1 in terms of the time, and then the temperature, the initial guess for the temperature. In this case, if we use in here, that will be 25. We approach it as a 25. Okay, so we will have 25, 25. So this will be oh sorry, this one's supposed to be this, and then this one is 25, 25. We will have this one will have 25 rows multiplied by 1 column. Okay, so this will be 25, 25, 25. This is basically the initial guess values for the temperature. Okay, and then the step size will be the H is basically a matrix consisting of so 0 to 0.1, and then we have that 11 of those. Okay, so that we have this H is basically a factor of the position. Then everything follows is just the plotting, X label, Y label, legend. Okay, figure 1 and figure 2 shows you the temperature with a different representation. Okay, so let's go and move into the result in here. So the figure 1 will give you on the left hand side is if you use an internal grid point of 10, the right hand side if you use an internal grid point of 100. Okay, so what we see in here is we plot time as in the axis x-axis position. Okay, for the position z equal, so at any particular time, so let's say if we take this particular time at 0.01, then z will have this temperature. At z equal 0 will have this temperature, z equal 0.01 will have this temperature, 0.02 at this particular temperature, and then at this particular temperature and this particular temperature. For a very very long time, then we will have this, let's say 0.1 at time 0.1. Then at z equals 0, the temperature will be at around this position, or around let's say 33. Okay, and then at z equals 0.01, we will have a temperature of around 40. If I took it in here, it will be around 42. Okay, and then at z equals 0.1, then the temperature will be equal to 90 degrees Celsius, say for example. Okay, and 100 will give you much more points. Okay, figure 2 in here is different representation than the previous figure, because this one is plotting the tube length as its axis variables. Okay, so at time equals 0, then the temperature will be uniform. Okay, at time equal 0.02, then you notice a slight change. Okay, and then at very very long temperature, at this one t equals 0.1, then at the positions of z equal 0.1, for example, and then at this one is z equal 0. Here we will have a 90 degrees Celsius. On the entrance, on the other hand, it's around 30 something, like it's higher than 35, let's say 36. Okay, Um, so that's how you solve the partial differential equations problem. Okay, with this then I conclude the materials for the week 10 process modeling unit. You can check the additional materials, and if you have any doubts or anything that is not clear from my video, please contact me and we can set up a time to discuss that. Thank you for listening.